This is David Harrison Greis of the Greis Report. Thank you for tuning in tonight. So we're going to be starting off with the story that's on everybody's mind. And no, it's not Epstein, even though that's on my mind all the time. Release the files. Release the files. Let's just do it already. All right, let's go. So tonight's story, what else is on everybody's mind that's not Epstein? Well, Donald Trump is trying to actively take over Washington, D.C. He wants to do this in a number of different ways. So I know we've been following this story, and yes, this was all brought on by the big balls incident that we're still talking about right now. So basically what happened is last night he threatened a takeover of D.C. He sent about 120 people in. Now, these were FBI agents, and they were reassigned from their law enforcement duties to actually go and do this. According to the reports that I've read, there was only one incident that it was like a minor car wreck, but it wasn't even like a wreck. It was like a minor fender bender, and like 40 agents came running over to like two people exchanging insurance information, which I found kind of comical. These are highly specialized and trained FBI agents that should be out fighting real crime, not licking Trump's boot. All right. Now I have seen some images where there are National Guardsmen there. I don't know if they actually are there or if the media is just showing this, whatever it is. They're saying that your presence is increasing. There are ongoing protests all around Washington, D.C. against the Mad King Donald Trump, saying that he's got to go because this can't happen. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who I've been referencing a lot in the past couple of days, she actually came out and was like, this is unprecedented, uncalled for. She's totally against this. The council, the Washington Council, and the Washington, D.C. Council, if you're not familiar with who they are and what they do, they are the main governing body of Washington, D.C. They make the policies. They're the ones who shape the policy for the region. They actually basically call this a manufactured intrusion on local authority. And the key word there is manufactured intrusion because the data does not support their assumptions here. Before we continue, please remember to like, subscribe, and down here we have an email address, thegreisreport@gmail.com. Again, that's thegreisreport@gmail.com. We have this for tips, leads, story requests. We're always happy to engage with our viewership. So one of the troubling things that Donald Trump said during this press conference, he wants to clear out the homeless, and he wants to clean up the city, whatever that means. Clear out the homeless to where? Obviously, he's talking concentration camps, right? Where else are they going to have the infrastructure to house lots of people? So now we have immigrants. Now we have the homeless. We're going to have the mentally ill eventually. When are they going to stop? They're not. It's a concentration camp. All right. So moving on, there are protests that are underway currently, and to finish out the story, the last thing that Mad King Trump said about all this before he ran off the stage, he wants to take over Baltimore, Chicago, Los Angeles, which he failed to do already, New York City, which he ain't gonna do, and Oakland. New York City will not let that monster near us. That's it. He's never going to get back into New York City. He is banished from this city. Sayonara, so long, sucker. Goodbye, Trump. All right, moving on to the next story. Talking about New York City, we have a local newspaper here called The City. I know, kind of funny, right? But hey, I like it, and they tell a good story. So according to The City, the New York City is currently the nation's capital in courthouse arrests for ICE Gestapo. What does that mean? So they are actually out there instead of being on the streets like they were in LA, because we chased them off the streets here in New York City. We ain't having that here. They're holed up in the courthouses, and they're arresting people who are going in for their check-ins. People who are doing things the right way, trying to get their citizenship, have a life, have a family, have a job, tax-paying people, paying taxes. And guess what? The immigrants' tax money, same as our tax money, is going to their own arrests. How sick is that? This is why we can't let them take over here. Last story that I want to cover tonight, and this is a big one if it is indeed true. A colleague of mine who works in legal, she sent me over a document from a law firm called McEntee Law Firm, and I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. Please forgive me if I am not. They appear to be immigration practice specialists. According to their documentation, they are alleging that there is a disturbing medical emergency at Alligator Auschwitz. People are getting sick. They're having respiratory issues. They're not being given medication. There's a lot of information that's being funneled out of the concentration camp that's being given to law firms to represent these individuals. So this is an active case. It is still active, and the last update was on August 7th. So we're going to keep our eye on the pulse on this and see what actually comes of this. I believe personally that Alligator Auschwitz is a concentration camp without a doubt, and that there is no reason to believe that they are actually giving them medical care. And this is going to be bad for the actual prisoners as well as the prison guards. I have individuals in my family who previously worked in corrections, and their insight, what they gave me was that if you have these people who are deeply unhappy, it's going to eventually impact the guards. If they bust out, if they have a riot, if they break out, or even just going home to their families at night, some of the guards who might grow a conscience, they might eventually feel the impact of what they've actually done. No one can just walk away from that if you're not a psychopath. And I'm hesitant to say that all these people that are working guards in that camp are psychopaths. I would like to believe that's not the case, because I would like to believe that we have some fighting chance to rescue them. This is David Harrison Greis, the Greis Report. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great night.